Okay, welcome back. 240 on the Nifty, so going very, very strong. 17,860. Jai Bala of CatchTheChaos.com is with us on charts. Jai, great to have you with us here, as always on Tuesdays. Your sense, Jai, on what we are seeing. Late last week, we got a bit of a dip, but very short-lived, and those losses have all but been recouped. Your sense from here?
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show, Prashant. I think the markets are at a very important crossroads, and as long as the Nifty stays below 17,965 to 17,980, I think the markets have actually turned lower. But I know there is still the possibility that market could get higher than 18,096 that it made last week. But this is a slightly lower possibility. I'm working with the team that the markets have turned lower, but I'm not getting too aggressive. But it is this is probably the last time people are buying the dip, or should be buying the dip. If you bought the dip around 17,500, this is the time to get really cautious about it and position yourself for a possible lower decline. The reason I'm saying that is very important for the U.S. markets. It's actually, if you look at the Dow transports, they've actually signaled a new low for 2022. And so it's a matter of time before the US markets breaks the June 2022 low, and it won't stop there. It will head much lower. We are looking at 3,200 for the S&P and probably even 2,900 for the S&P. So it's, in my opinion, the US markets breaking the low of June is just a matter of time. Probably 1 or 2 days, probably the end of the week, nothing beyond that. So be very cautious on longs here. So the banking index is the one that's making the difference here. If the Nifty banks were to stay above yesterday's low, there is still a possibility the Nifty bank might clock one more higher high. But that's going to be the differentiator between the bullish and bearish space.
Okay, Jay, you are clearly very bearish on the US market for sure. Good afternoon. So, on the Nifty, you're saying that as well that this should be the last phase of buy the dip and we'll play catch up. Is that what you're saying? Are you sort of suggesting taking shots or just stay out of longs? I mean, how should Indian traders approach it?
Yeah, definitely start staying out of longs from here, because so far, if you've done buy the dip from July, August, that's a perfect strategy, and kudos to you. And you should start getting really cautious about buying the dip from here onwards. But when short positions, I personally like directional trades, and I would like to position myself short here. So the key stock Reliance is actually giving some ominous signs. I hope that turn out the way it's actually positioned. So it's, if you're aggressive, it's time to take short positions. If you are a little more conservative, wait for the drop to happen. Markets may not provide that opportunity, so that's the only problem, because the sharp decline that I anticipate for the US markets might provide a gap down for the market, and if you're not positioned short, you may not get the opportunity. That's the only problem.
All right, Jay, given that we have a big global event, I wanted to know the levels you're tracking on three asset classes. One on the 10-year US bond yields. Where is that headed? It's at around 3.1%, highest we've seen in more than a decade. What about Brent crude prices? Where's that's headed, as well as the dollar index? Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Nigel. See, the US 10-year bonds have clocked fresh high for the year, and that's a level not seen for the last 12 years odds. So, it's heading for 400 bips more directly. I was anticipating that to happen in a choppy fashion, but the market is saying it's heading there more directly. And my medium-term objective has been 465 bips to 550 bips for the US 10-year. But this is going to play out in say 12 months plus time frame. The dollar index, it's a bit not giving a clear signal, but the odds that it's going to head to 113 is slightly higher than the odds that it's correcting first to 104. So that's the theme I'm working with. When it comes to Brent, I think the medium-term trend is firmly down, but in the extreme short term, we could see a short-term bump up somewhere close to 112. But given the fact the medium-term trend is down, it's better to be nimble and play this if you're trying to play this.
Okay, One last question then on IT, how would you approach it? We've seen quite a bit of decline, Jay.
Yeah, IT is coming to a very key support level, Anuj. I'm having two possible scenarios. One is that that's my primary case. I'm bullish on IT from a medium-term perspective. I think it's going to break the July low slightly and then turn around for the bullish phase for the medium term. But if the index doesn't hold above 24,600, that's going to be really not a good sign. Even IT might succumb and go somewhere close to 20,000 to 19,000. So I don't anticipate that to happen, but it's always good to know what happens if the market does something that you're not anticipating.
All right, Jay, thanks a lot for joining us. Good talking to you as always. So that's Jai Bala with a bit of a cautious view on the market. Gautam Duggad is head of